Hi, I'm Michael and welcome to Michael's Matters. And over the weekend, millions of Americans got the second round of $300 advanced child tax credit payments from the IRS. This is from the various pandemic protection legislations that updated the 2021 child tax credit to allow for an advance of the credit to be sent out starting in July of 2021 through December. For many Americans across the country, though, who are eligible to receive these checks, some are finding that this month's check has not been showing up yet in their mailboxes or in their direct deposits. This is because of an error that is in the IRS that has led to some delays in payments. The IRS has said that for the month of August, though, 36 million checks have been sent out for advanced child tax credits on the 15th. These checks are expected to lift nearly 4 million children out of poverty just with the distribution of these checks alone. Additionally, these checks have already done a world of good for the 1 in 7 children who are here in the United States who are currently living in poverty. And according to a new survey out, many of the people who previously received checks just in July have directly spent it on help for their families to pay for rising costs of pretty much everything. So today, we are talking about August advanced child tax credit that has been delayed for some of those folks who are eligible, the new updates the IRS has made to their portals to make it easier to apply for the advanced child tax credits, and how you still can if you have not already done so, and if these new advanced child tax credits will become permanent based off new legislation that is happening in Congress right now. Now, this is Michael's Matters, and before we get to it, if you like this information, if you find it interesting, if you find it helpful, if you find it useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. So let's start this week off with the realization by a lot of folks who should have received their August advanced child tax credits but have not yet seen the money show up in their mailboxes or bank accounts. That is, even if they had already had their account registered to receive the previous checks in July. This is primarily because of an error by the IRS that has caused it to send out paper checks to hundreds of thousands of people who have their accounts set to direct deposit already. According to the IRS, the error was due to a system glitch that is going to affect around 15% of all the recipients for the child advanced tax credit. This would mean that the additional checks for up to $300 per child under 5 years old, or $250 for children between the ages of 6 and 17, could be delayed for up to an additional 4 weeks. This will put the additional money's delivery date after when the additional benefits like enhanced unemployment benefits end in September on the federal level, and even earlier for those states who have already stopped the enhanced unemployment benefits already. For these advanced child tax credits, if a person is eligible to claim the advanced child tax credits, they should actually be automatically getting these checks on the 15th of every month, starting from July throughout December. These payments represent half of the full $3,600 higher child tax credit for children under the age of 5 years old, and up to $3,000 for older children. The second half of the full amount can be claimed at the time when you file taxes. And yes, to be clear, you must file taxes to be able to get the additional tax credit. The additional 15% of delayed checks will be added to the other delayed checks that were already slowed down in July because of further system glitches with the IRS that disallowed U.S. citizens who were married to immigrants to get the checks. With the average advanced child tax credit being around $436, it means that many of our country's neediest families will have a $436 hole in their August budgets because of these system errors. To dishearten things even more, the IRS has posted timelines that folks should wait to ensure their payments have actually been delayed. The IRS says it can take up to 5 days for the issuance of a payment to show up in a direct deposit, up to 4 weeks for a paper check in the mail, up to 6 weeks for paper checks mailed to forwarding addresses, and for the longest wait times, it can be up to 9 weeks for anybody who has a foreign mailing address for those checks to show up. So, needless to say, it's a lot longer if it's not direct deposit, rather than being sent in the mail. But on the good news side of things, the IRS has released updated portals on Friday of last week that are really meant to provide more information to folks who are either trying to claim the advanced child tax credit, need to make updates to their statuses, or make changes to their personal information on file with the IRS. One of the main targets of these new portals is those Americans who do not traditionally file taxes or don't make enough income to require them to file taxes. This new non-filers portals for the advanced child tax credit is similar to the non-filer tool that was used last year by people to be able to get their stimulus checks for up to $1,400. So non-filer portal. This is because the advanced child tax credit can be claimed by anybody who has children and is able to, but not necessarily required to file taxes. The check started last month, but even now in August or throughout the rest of the year, if you have not filed to claim the advanced child tax credit, you can still do so. In fact, even if you missed a payment, they will be added into your future monthly payments for the rest of the year, meaning you'll get a higher advance payment every single month when they roll the months you missed back into those payments. So you get a higher monthly payment. At this point now, there are 3 different portals that are available for people to make changes to their IRS account. The first is the non-filer portal, which I just talked about, which in order to register, you may need to create an account with ID.me to verify your ID with the IRS. But once you do, you may be eligible to get the advanced child tax credit. The next portal is the Child Tax Credit Updated Portal, which, like it sounds, is meant for people who are already tax filers and need to make updates to their personal information with the IRS. Updated Portal. This is a super useful portal because if, for example, you moved and the IRS may still have your old information on file and could send that check to the wrong address, which means who knows how long it's going to take for that check to finally get into your pocket. The other major reason this portal is vital is because the child tax credit is not like the stimulus check. I mean this in the sense that it will get justified at the end of the year when you file your taxes. So if you get paid for more dependents than you actually have in 2021, or your income is higher, or your household size is different, or your marital status is incorrect, it could mean you have to pay back any excess child tax credit that you got incorrectly paid out to you. Paid it back. Sad face. With the Child Tax Credit Update Portal, you can make these changes to things like your addresses, your income, dependents, marriage status, and income, in addition to your banking account information. The last of these 3 portals is the Child Tax Credit Eligibility Portal. This one is just meant to give you a status update about how much your checks are going to be, when they will be sent out, when they were sent out, and whether or not you are eligible for the child tax credit at all. Through these portals, you can also make changes to how you want to get paid. It would mean that if you wanted to opt in or you wanted to opt out of the advanced child tax credits, you would be able to do so for the rest of the year. Like if you're not sure how much money you're going to make for this year, and you don't want to have to pay all that money back if it's going to be different. But if you do decide to make updates, just bear in mind that any changes you'd want to make to be effective as of September 15th, which is when the next check will be sent out, you need to have completed by August 30th of this month. Deadline, August 30th. Another aspect of these checks that we are just starting to see more information about is how the advanced child tax credits are actually helping families across the country. Keep in mind these payments are coming at a time when the cost of things like food, gas, and utilities are all on steep inclines. And in a few short weeks, other pandemic-era benefits are going to start to be ending. In a survey that was done by a group called Parents Together Action, they found that 90% of parents who received the advanced child tax credit in July said it was helpful or made a huge difference in their families. So 90% approved. Additionally, 56% of parents who were surveyed said that they had reduced anxiety once they saw that money in their accounts. It goes to show that having a little extra cash help out right now can make a big difference in the lives of our friends and our neighbors and our family members who are all still continuing to struggle. In fact, to that end, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, they showed a 3% drop in child hunger immediately after the first round of the child tax credit was distributed. So 3% drop immediately. 79% of parents said that they use the money immediately, which follows the logic that recipients of these types of benefits, whether it's advanced child tax credits, stimulus checks, or extra unemployment, the money goes right back in the economy to help the whole thing stabilize. When looking at how the money was spent specifically, most of the money was spent on food, while 45% went to utilities, 29% went to rent, and 13% went to childcare, which is often overlooked right now, even when schools in some parts of the country are not fully open. Most of the money was spent on food. One of the next big steps for the Democrats in Congress is to try to figure out what is the best way to keep some of these gains in programs that basically put money directly into the pockets of those who need it. Currently in the new budget resolution bill, there is wording that would extend the expanded child tax credit that's coming out for 2021 all the way out to 2025 if it passes. This, with other extensions like the American Families Plan, are all really aiming to help American families. But there are a few unspoken truths that are at play here that is important for us to realize. First is that due to demographic shifts in our country, our population growth is slowing down dramatically. This is bad news for the health of the country as a whole, with a large portion of our population hitting their golden years and less people being born and thus working. It means there is going to be a demographic crisis that is coming, and without more children being born, by the time folks who are millennials or even in that Z generation getting to retirement age at 67 years old or whatever it is by then, there won't be enough people to support the current Social Security systems that we have. So that's the first problem. The second one is that children are expensive. They've always been expensive, but even more now than ever. This is one of the key drivers of birth rates going down. The cost of school, housing, and living at home until they're basically 30 are deterring people from having children, knowing that it would take up the best years of their lives, most of their earning potential, and ultimately will be a life-altering expense. So, without support like this for those families who are having children, the number of new Americans working moving forward will continue to decline to a point there won't be enough people to support the older Americans as they get into retirement 30 years down the road. This, of course, with the basic human dignity that comes with being able to afford food, shelter, and clothing for American youth also plays a part. So look, overall, if people are going to use the money for things like food, housing, and utilities, it makes more sense to put more money into their pockets, because these kids that we neglect now, they will be running this country someday, and by then, most likely, all of us will be depending on them. Now, this has been Michael's Matters, and I hope that you found it interesting or helpful or at least useful. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. So for Michael's Matters, I'm Michael, wishing you a happy, healthy day.